This is the second video to model the piston for our motion machine. As you can see here, I started with a slug and I did my extrude cut. All this information indicated in this view on the drawing here. So now I have to cut the wrist pin hole and cut the grooves for the piston rings and then do a generous fillet on everything. Okay, so let's cut the piston wrist pin. That's going to happen on this nice flat face right here. Let's see, so the diameter of this hole, which is going to be a nice circle, is going to be 0.75 inches, also known as 3/4. 0.75. That is going to be 1 inch from the top to the center point. 1 inch. Now I need my left to right. That looks to me like it's perfectly in the middle. Since I'm not given any information, that is the assumption. So that is going to be, let's see if I have a midpoint. Well, my midpoint's actually the origin, so I can just do a nice vertical constraint right over the top of that to get my fully constrained feature. We know what to do once we get to our extrude. We go to cut, send this guy all the way through the other side. Oh, cut a little too much. We just want to select the circle. I can do a distance or through all, makes no difference at this point. Through all is a little bit cleaner, I would say. Okay. Oh, excuse me, it's 1.2 inches, so I'm off just a little bit. I'm looking at it here and it looks too far up the piston, so it was by a shade, so I need to bring that guy down just a little bit. Easy thing to do, I can just go to my sketch and change that to 1.2, thus the beauty of drafting on computers. Okay. Now, let's see what we're going to do now. Oh, there's actually two different heights here. So this outside cut area here is actually not as tall or not as deep as this section here. So I actually need to change that. That's really quick and easy to do. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share sketch 2. Actually, I'll just create a new sketch. I'm going to sketch on this face. And what I'm going to do is project, include this section and this section. Okay. And then I'm going to just extrude join that. And so what's my distance on that? Well, it is 1.562 minus 1.250. So this is the depth of the interior, which is what I did on my initial cut. And this is the depth from the bottom for this section. So I'm essentially saying this minus this is how much further it should be up. Let's see if the computer can figure that out. And it did. All right, easy fix right there. That's the name of the game, easy fixes. All right, so now I need to put in my piston grooves. There's probably a lot of different operations we could use to do this. One that comes to mind is a revolve, right? Revolves are really good for circular things. But I need to start a sketch, so which sketch is going to cut this guy in half? I could use either one of these two guys. I'm going to use this one. Okay. And now I essentially need to draw in these profiles. So first, let's include my shape. Actually, I want intersect because I only want to know where it passes through that plane that I have selected. Let's see. I'm going to do, there's 2 rings, so I need 2 boxes. And these are square cut. Now I just need to know my distances. Well, let's zoom in over here, over here. All right, here's all my information. So to help you out, I'm going to orient it the same way here. So let's see, from the front face to the first cut, is 0.188 or 3/16 of an inch. The width of this is 0.75. Both of these are 0.75 with a 150 gap in between. That sounds easy enough. 0.75. Oops. 0.075. I misspoke. And then between these two guys, we have 150 thou. Oh. Here to here, we have 150 thou. 0.150, and then this guy is also 0.075. All right, now I need to know essentially the height or depth of these. And what is the height or depth? Let's see. Oop, too far. Well, it's actually not specified here, so I'm going to guess that these are square since it's not given, but that should be given. That's where you would send it back to the engineers and say, what's the depth of these grooves? Let's go with 0.075. They look squarish. Where that's going to work for now, but that is information that you do need going forward. Maybe somebody will update these documents before you try it. Okay, so I have that. Go ahead and finish that sketch. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the tool that I was talking about, which is not extrude, excuse me. Let's go to, wait for the computer to catch up. Let's revolve here. So I'm going to revolve these two sections, and my center point is actually going to be my origin, so we just got to find that guy. And actually they give you these nice axes too. So let's see, which axis do I want? Oh, gotta select axis first. So there we go. So it's revolving around this axis, and it's those grooves that I already indicated. So let's cut it. All right, that actually looks pretty darn good. Now the last thing we need to do is do a fillet on everything. So sharp corners and high stress of an engine do not work well together. So fillets help everything smooth over to reduce the chances of things cracking in the future. So if we go under modify, grab our fillet tool, we want to fillet all these corners. Even these guys would probably get a chamfer in the real world, a pretty small one. But let's just fillet everything. Let's see if the computer can handle it. And by everything, I mean everything other than the grooves, because that's what it says here. Okay, got all the top, the interior, and definitely the very top, because that's not a groove. All right, let's put in the fillet of 0.05. Hit OK, and ooh, look how smooth that guy is. Very nice. Probably would go back and undo these. That's too much of a fillet. Probably you're losing surface area on the piston, but you just do what it indicates on the drawing. If it doesn't indicate, then probably don't do it. And that's easy enough to fix. Come back in here and unselect these edges. Or if you can't unselect, you might just have to start over, but easy enough thing to fix. All right, kind of come back, and it's always good to double check everything. Let's go back, and does this look like my drawing? That's usually the first test. Does my drawing look just like this? If the answer is yes, then that's a pretty good indication you did what you were supposed to do. So if you are here, nice work. Learned a little bit. Use some different tools like symmetry. Yeah, keep following for more tips, tricks on how to do Fusion 360.